Now that the Champions League group stages are officially finished, everyone's played their games and everyone knows which team is going to place in which group. Even though a few of the groups were really decided already, there were a couple that you didn't know exactly who was going through, who was going to place first or second. So now that that's all over and that's decided, I'm going to go through how the Champions League knockout stage will actually work. So basically how each team is decided to go into what part, how the draw's done and everything like that. So to start with, it's important to know that the top 2 teams from each group will progress to the knockout stage of the Champions League. So that means obviously the top 2 from each group will go into the round of 16 and they'll be put into pots for the draw. However, the 3rd team from each group in the Champions League will go down to the Europa League, and this is why the Europa League has a round of 32 and an extra stage to the Champions League, because they basically get another 8 teams from the Champions League, the teams that finish 3rd in the group. So going straight on to the actual draw itself, the teams that ended up finishing 1st in their group will go into one pot, and then the teams who finish 2nd in their group will go in the next pot. And a few rules to go with this are that teams from the same group, so a team that was in the same group, or a team from the same country can't be drawn against each other. So for example, Manchester City can't be drawn against the 2nd team from their group, and they also can't be drawn against any other English teams, which luckily for them, all the teams that finish 2nd, not one of them are English. So that is more of a bonus for them. There's only one team that they can't face, and for other teams this will obviously be different, because more teams will have certain teams from their country that have finished 2nd or whatever. So those are really the only 2 big kind of rules, that you can't face someone from the same group as you. So if you finish 2nd, you can't face the team that finished top in your group, and if you finish 1st, you can't face the team that finished 2nd in your group. And you also can't face a team that plays in the same country as you. So this is only applicable for the round of 16 stage. At the quarter-final stage, anybody can play anybody. So that's why you can see, for example, Man City play Arsenal, or Real Madrid play Barcelona, or Atletico Madrid or Bayern Munich play Borussia Dortmund, because all of those rules go away in the quarterfinals. And for example, I was going to bring up an Italian team, but there's no Italian teams that finish 1st in their group. They all finished 2nd. But apart from that, those are really the only big rules. And then in the for the draw for the quarterfinals, this is where it gets a bit different. Obviously, those 2 rules above are not abolished, but those don't come into play anymore. So the actual quarterfinal and the semi-final draws are done on the same day. And how this is done is they'll do the draw for the quarterfinal like they normally do, and then they will kind of they will bring out another pot for the semi-final, and they will draw it out, and it will say, for example, winner of quarterfinal number 1 will play winner of quarterfinal number 3, and then obviously after that it will be winner of quarterfinal number 2 will play winner of quarterfinal number 4. So the teams that are actually in the quarterfinals will not know exactly who they're going to play, but they will then know one of the 2 teams that they will going to play. They will know which 2 teams they could face. So it's a bit different, because from the round of 16, obviously you don't know who you're going to play in the quarterfinals exactly, and then obviously going to the quarterfinals, you know who you're going to be playing in the semi-finals, because the draw's done on the same day. So those are the few rules about really the draw and everything, and there might be some more little minuscule rules, but those are the main ones that come about in the draw. So going on to the pots then, because obviously the group stage is finished, we know who's going to be in both pots. So going on to pot 1, there is Bayern Munich, Arsenal, Real Madrid, bit of a surprise here, Real Sociedad, Manchester City, Borussia Dortmund, Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. So those are the teams that finish top in their group, and they will be drawn first from pot 1. And then pot 2, the teams that finished second in their group are Copenhagen, PSV, Napoli, Inter Milan, Lazio, RB Leipzig, Paris Saint-Germain and Porto. So those teams will be drawn out second, and I'm pretty sure they get the away leg first, or the away leg first and then the home leg second, or I'm not sure exactly how that works, but I do think the teams that are drawn first usually get the home leg. So the draw for this then will actually be done on December the 18th. So depending on what time when this video goes up, it will be before the December the 18th this video will go up, but it'll only be a few days out from the draw. So I do think that there could be some interesting matchups here. For example, Inter Milan I think Inter Milan facing anyone would be very, very interesting. But then again, I think most of these matchups will be quite interesting with Inter Milan and also with PSG as well, because those are two teams that really have the potential to kind of disrupt any of the teams who've come in first, because they are kind of like a fringe team that you would usually expect to finish top, and I think Napoli will give some teams a good run for their money as well. However, apart from those three teams, I do think a lot of the pot 1 teams should go through to the next round, maybe barring Real Sociedad. I do think that was a bit of a surprise that they finished top of their group, and I do think that most of the teams in pot 2 could give them problems, but apart from that, I do think most teams from pot 1 should go through. And then the last thing on this is that the first legs will take place on the 13th, 14th, 20th and 21st of February. So those are all the first legs for all the games. And then the second legs don't at least start for a few weeks after. So the second legs will take place on the 5th, 6th, 12th and 13th of March. And then obviously after that they have the quarterfinal and the semi-final draw. Then it progresses really from there all the way up until the final. So that is really kind of like a brief overview of how the UEFA Champions League knockout stage will work, how the draw will work, how it will really lead up to the final, and really a few of the big rules there for the actual knockout stages and who can face who and when that isn't really relevant anymore. So first of all, let me know what you think of the draw itself. Do you think there could be any improvements made to the draw by any chance, or do you think it's like the best we're going to be able to get? Also, let me know the best matchup you think could be made, or the best matchups, because there's probably multiple different very good matchups that could be made out of these two pots. So let me know what your favorite matchup would be, or what the best matchups you think could be made from these two pots. Let me know about all of that down in the comments. If you thought this video was helpful in maybe understanding the knockout stage of the Champions League a bit more, or it just genuinely helped you understand the process and like the rules and everything, drop a like on the video so I know that I at least helped someone, and also subscribe as well, because I will look to make more of these kind of explanation videos on how things like this work. I think I've already done one for the qualification of the Champions League and things like that. So yeah, subscribe if you want more things like that, because I will make more things like that. Thank you for listening to the video, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.